Hey, this is Aaron with Arnold's Outdoor Life. It's going to be my second segment. Today we're actually going to kind of load up the dehydrator. I'm going to show you some stuff I've done that I have left over from last year actually that are still good. First of all, let me start off by showing you my dehydrator. This is the Excalibur food dehydrator. The way this is different than a lot of the dehydrators that you get at like Walmart or whatever. The fan's in the back instead of on the top. And you got your trays, obviously. The reason that it's more important to have the one in the back is you don't have to rotate as often, and the drying is a lot more even. The rotation is a lot easier as well. You don't have to take all your stacks and shuffle them around. These, you just gotta turn them. Sometimes I'll rotate top to bottom, but not very often. It seems what I've learned. It seems that these middle trays, the bottom two and the top two, they still dry just fine, but the ones in between end up drying a lot better. Let's see here. Let's go over to what I've got left from last year. Here I've got some plantain chips. These are really good. I actually did these. These are the noodles I was talking about. I did those 2 days ago. Artichoke hearts. That's kind of what they look like when they're done. Here are my sweet potato chips. And my zucchini chips. With these, I actually have a recipe I found for it. Said to soak them in like a vinegar water solution or whatever. I found that they kind of came out not very crisp. So what I ended up doing is just putting the solution in a spray bottle and then just misting them before I put them in the dehydrator. And then half of these I put my seasoning that I use for my beef jerky on it. It's kind of like a pepper seasoning. It's really good. What else we got here? Right here we got some beef. This is actually steak. I do ground beef and steak. With the steak, what I do, like if I have a steak dinner or whatever and I have some left, I'll just throw it in the freezer, or I'll pick up a cheap cut of meat and I'll cook it like a pot roast almost, braise it for like 8 hours so it gets really tender, and that way you can get all the fat off of it. So basically what I do is when I pull it out of the oven, I let it cool for a while and I shred it up and then pick all the fat out and dehydrate it that way. Some mixed vegetables from last year, and these are radish chips. These are really awesome too. These are one of my favorites, right next to the zucchini chips. But today we are going to be drying peas, green beans, butter beans, black beans, and kidney beans. These are all just 1 can each. Research I've done says it's best to use the canned beans for dehydrating because they use pressure cook process. And it makes them a lot more tender. You can obviously, just cook your own beans. It'll be a lot cheaper that way. But I'm going to go with this and see how it turns out. And then also, I picked up some zucchini and squash yesterday. I took it today to work and grilled it up. You don't have to cook them first, but I just wanted to kind of add that flavor, that extra flavor profile from the char grill. So I'm going to go ahead and load it up, and then I'll show you, well actually I'll just go ahead and show you the settings. With this machine, the settings are on the back. This one, you can get these with a automatic shutoff timer, but it's like an extra like $100 I think, 75 to $100. You can just go, Walmart, Target, or wherever and get a timer switch for like $10. I don't really use one. I haven't gotten one yet. I probably should one of these days. But it shows you kind of what the settings. This also comes with like a huge book tells you how, like, if there's any anything you need to do. Like with the plantains, I had to put like a preserve on it so they wouldn't brown. Same with like bananas and stuff like that. But today we're doing vegetables, so you're going to want to stay between 120 and 140 degrees when drying. But I'm going to get this loaded up and show you what it looks like with everything on the screens. So I've got it all loaded up. And it's running. You can tell, I mean, it's not really that loud. You know, some people complain that sometimes the dehydrators are kind of loud. This one's actually pretty quiet. You know, just make sure you space it. Like, these are kind of tight, but once they start drying, sometimes I'll just kind of move them around during the drying process as well. But basically what I do is I'll stick them in here, and then I usually let it go untouched for like 2 hours, because these vegetables are going to take like 4 to 8 hours. What I'll do is I'll go in after 2 hours and rotate it, and then, you know, usually rotate, you know, every hour and a half. You know, unless I'm out doing something, then, you know, like I said in my previous video, it's not a huge deal to rotate them with this machine, but it's a good idea just to get everything perfectly dried, you know, uniformly. Also this year, I think I'm going to try, instead of doing just straight up dried fruit, I think I might do leathers, which is a pretty simple process. You have to get, you can do it on wax paper or aluminum foil. They actually, for this machine, they do make non-stick pads, the same as silk pats. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with those, but silk pats are great. Like, nothing sticks to them. When I was in culinary school, we would make candy decor, where you're pouring you know, molten sugar on it, and it didn't melt it, wouldn't stick to it. I mean, they're great. So if you guys get this machine and you want to do something like that, you kind of look into it. I'll probably just use wax paper. That way, once it dries, I'll just roll it up like a fruit roll up. But I'll come back a couple hours and show you what it looks like, kind of the process all the way through. It's been about 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and do my first rotation. Here are the peas. You can kind of tell on the back that they're drying a little bit more. Green beans. Beans. They said this would happen with canned beans, as they would split, but they also said that really helps with the when you go to rehydrate them. Obviously the black beans, the smaller ones, they're drying a lot faster. Butter beans. Zucchini and squash. These are going to take a little longer just because they have a lot higher moisture content. Also, to take in consideration when you do your drying, like it's winter time right now, so they're going to dry a lot faster because there's a lot less humidity in the air. And that all, you know, depends on where you are. I'm in Nebraska, so we have really dry air in the winter and then really humid air in the summer. So summertime usually takes longer to get stuff dry. I'll come back and I usually try to rotate now like about every hour or so. So I'll just keep checking it, and when it's close to done, I'll come back and show you and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's completely dry. Okay, it's been about 4 hours now. Last time I checked, the peas and black beans were about done. Yep, here are the peas. Yep, they're good to go. Green beans, they've got some time yet. The kidney beans, they're ready to go. That's what they're going to look like. There are the black beans, they're good to go. So those took right around 4 hours. Butter beans are good. Zucchini and squash, see how much they shrunk down, all that moisture in them. They've probably got another hour or so. Once I move them up to the middle though, they shouldn't take quite as long. But that kind of shows you the process of, you know, from start to finish in the dehydrator. But I'll be making plenty more videos. I'm going to do a full beef jerky video. I try a new snack recipe tomorrow. I think it's going to be cashew kale chips. So we'll see how those turn out. And then down the road, I'll do my granola and my energy bars. I don't really make them bars, and I'll scoop them out into little balls. And then my makeshift Clip bars. But if you guys subscribe and hit that notification button, you'll know when I have some more videos and stuff up. So hopefully these last 2 videos will help you guys out and hopefully motivate you guys to make your own meals and save some money and be a lot more creative. You guys have a great day. Bye.